We often hear the advice that when prompting, we should tell AI to be an expert in leasing or in financial and other things, like assigning a role to an AI model. But it turns out that the recent research shows that completely doesn't matter, or in some cases, can even harm our conversation and lower the accuracy that artificial intelligence models can bring. The research done by Wharton School proved that they evaluated 6 different AI models starting from ChatGPT-4 O and Gemini Flash, and they use high quality benchmark like GBQA Diamond, which is like science, biology, that kind of things, which is a benchmark, usually the PhD level questions across physics, not usually, just a chemistry and biology, that kind of level. And then also difficult subset of MMLU Pro, which is engineering, law, and chemistry benchmark. And that turns out to be a very interesting takeaways. The researcher tested 3 main approaches for assigning roles. First, in domain experts, the way we usually use, where the persona matched the subject, such as physics expert answering a physics problem. Second, off expert, when the persona mismatched with that. And finally, low knowledge personas like toddler, child, and that kind of configuration. The overall conclusion was very clear. Across both benchmarks and the most model tested, persona prompt generally did not improve accuracy compared to simply asking the question without assigning the role. For example, assigning a world-class expert persona to a model show non-consistent benefit. Even when trying to align the persona and the expert role directly with the domain questions, such as having a biology expert and asking biology questions. In most cases, the performance remained statistically not relevant, not important. There were some exceptions to this trend. For instance, Gemini 2.0 Flash model showed modest positive differences relative to baseline when assigned expert personas on the MMLU Pro subset. GPT-4O also showed a small in-domain gain specifically in law. However, overall, the productivity was very questionable when we asked the expert role. So while expert roles were most neutral, low knowledge personals proved to be generally harmful to factual accuracy. Models assigned roles like layperson, young child, or especially toddler often saw reduction in accuracy. For example, one model, all 3 low knowledge personas performed worse than the baseline. The degree of implied lack of knowledge affected performance with the toddler prompt, often yielding worse results than layperson prompt. Furthermore, using domain mismatched expert personas sometimes degraded performance. This type of misdirection carries a specific risk, especially observed in Gemini models. The model might interpret the narrow role instruction too strictly and refuse to answer the questions entirely. For example, Gemini 2.5 Flash frequently declined to answer questions under unrelated expert condition on the GBQA Diamond benchmark, asserting that it lacked the relevant expertise. This refusal-driven behavior substantially lowers the measured accuracy, illustrating the role instructions that are too narrow can cause models to underutilize their actual knowledge. So what's the conclusion? In summary, for generating highly accurate answers, the user prompt is more important than the system prompt. Assigning an expert personas, it's not a reliable strategy anymore. Maybe it never was. It's important to remember that with the personas might still serve other valuable functions such as shifting the tone, influencing the model's approach to reasoning or simulating particular point of view, but generally speaking, doesn't improve the accuracy, except for low personas like toddler, child, and things like that. Please consider that when you will be prompting next time.